Gray Area talks about sex, relationships, mental health, and more. The views and opinions expressed on the show are those of the talent and guests alone and are provided for informational purposes only. We want to talk to you, but our hosts are not qualified healthcare professionals. If you're depressed, feel your life is at risk, or need immediate assistance, please seek professional help or dial 911. What's up, everyone? I'm Sasha Grey, and this is Gray Area.
And I'm Sasha's co-host, Dumbfoundead, and we are quickly becoming one of the most dynamic duos of primetime streaming TV, self-proclaimed. Like Bert and Ernie if they both had a dark past.
Oh, Bert and Ernie definitely had a dark past. They were forced to live in the closet on Sesame Street, man.
Okay, I hear that a lot. Was Bert and Ernie really a gay couple?
So the writer said he based it off of himself and his partner, right? But then Sesame Street still likes to claim that they were just best friends. But you know, you gotta put the pieces together, do the math.
That's rough, man. Everyone wants to be able to be themselves, and Sesame Street, where else can you be yourself?
Exactly, and that's what we're talking about today. Have you ever felt like you don't fit in or like you're an outsider? Whether it's culturally, because of your gender, sexuality, or even just because you're into different things. Dumb, what street did you grow up on?
I grew up on Harvard Street. I don't know if my parents moved there when they came to America because they wanted me to go to the Ivy League school or something, but I grew up with a lot of Latinos. I was the only Asian kid amongst a group of Latino kids. I got the nickname Chino. I embraced it, and I loved being Chino until I found out the Asian kid the block over was also nicknamed Chino.
Oh.
It was not an exclusive nickname.
Nope.
Yeah. How about you?
How about me? Man, I don't know. Growing up, I was always sort of the weird one, even within my own group of friends. But I also never really quite felt girly or feminine,
like
really.
Tomboyish?
I was definitely a tomboy, and I was also really scrawny. I was really skinny, so I got teased a lot for that. But I eventually sort of owned it and found ways to be comfortable with it.
Yeah,
to
at
be
least
comfortable
you
with
had
it. As
friends.
my voice cracks because I'm
Yeah.
going through puberty still.
Yeah, your friends embraced you for being the weird one in the crew, which is good.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Still sort of do. Not much has changed.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, I feel like in growing up in K-Town, like it was weird because it was just predominantly Koreans in Koreatown, you know, but I was like the weirdo within the Koreans.
Yep.
And it's hard, like, because you're not growing up in a neighborhood where like the Asian kids were getting picked on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if you made fun of an Asian kid in my neighborhood, like you might.
It was over.
It was over.
It was over.
But it's weird being the outsider amongst your own people. And like, it took a
Right.
while on that journey, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, you should embrace your weirdness and eventually the world will come around because, you know, weirdos and nerds run the world, as we all know now that we're older.
This is true. And what I've realized is it was never about changing myself to fit into a space, but finding a space where I could be my true self. And for me, that's always been in music, art, and now my Twitch community.
Shout out to Twitch.
Yes, and our guest tonight definitely knows how it feels to grow up feeling like he didn't fit in. He has a talent for hilariously pointing out what's different in all of us. He's been named one of Rolling Stone's 50 best stand-up comics of all time. He's sold out huge arenas like Madison Square Garden, and you might not know, he's a dope DJ. I'll go playlist to playlist with him any day.
Uh-oh.
It's Russel Peters.
Is that your brother beside you, Ender? You don't know each other? Are they racially profiling the front row? You know how you can tell when an Arab guy's lying? He'll start his answer off with, okay. Immigrant white people that look exactly like you, body language is completely different. Is that a name or a sound? And then the car took off so fast. Here, man. You know how bad it is for an Indian guy to say he's not good on a computer? That's like a black guy saying he has no rhythm. It doesn't make any sense.
Yes. Russell, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, for someone like you who's so used to performing in front of thousands, like, what has this vibe been like these days?
Like in here?
No, not in here. It's kind of lit in here, low-key.
There is no vibe anymore.
It's all dead.
This is as close to a vibe as I've been in 5 months.
5
Right.
months, I think all of us.
All of us. It's been nice being here and like having people to hang out with and socialize with. But today we're talking about growing up with the feeling that you don't belong. So we actually wanted to get a little rundown from you of what it was like growing up.
Well, for me, my parents moved to Canada in 1965, and then I was born in 1970. And I dealt with a lot of racism growing up. Because in Canada at that time, Indians were the new immigrants.
Right.
And we were getting the trickle-down racism from England that they were dealing with the Indian people there. So we were getting called the same racist terms and stuff. And I'm talking from like a very young age, like 3 years old.
You got the secondhand racism.
Oh, it was firsthand when I was getting it.
Yeah.
It was the hand-me-down firsthand,
Hand-me-down.
And I dealt with a lot of that from a very early age. And I just understood that, okay, at that point I was like, okay, white people are equal mean and aggressive. So I hung out with the black kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they embraced you?
Yeah, because they were all immigrants too, because most of the black kids in my neighborhood their parents are from the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, Canada isn't that much of a slave history. We have a big immigrant history.
Yeah. I know you're a big hip hop head, and
Right.
that's for me too. I feel like I found a lot of that in hip hop because it was so unapologetically black. It made me kind of unapologetically Asian because I saw that. It made me be like, okay, people mess with people who are proud to be who they are.
Right.
And that's the effect that rap had on me.
Well, it took me a long
100%.
time to accept who I was.
Right.
Like I just grew up thinking, all right, I'm just like a light-skinned black guy with a big nose. That's really what I thought.
Did you try to like pretend like, I'm half
Well,
black?
no, because it was all Jamaican, so I would speak like a Jamaican a lot of
No.
like a lot of the times. And
Right.
It's funny because I don't realize I do it until like one of my friends will call me from back home, and they're all Jamaican. So I'm like, yo, Russell, what up? I'm like, yo, wagwan, man. And then they're like, and they're just talking normal. I'm like, why am I doing this?
Why am I doing this?
They're talking normal, and I'm being extra Jamaican for no reason.
Well, what was the first time that you realized that people weren't like your family or you? I mean, that you were different, essentially.
It took me a while to figure that out because I just assumed because my family is like, they're not a traditional Indian family. So the music we would listen to in the house and my parents would listen to was, like Glenn Miller and Jim Reeves and Patsy Cline and then Bill Haley and all the rock and roll stuff. So I was like, when I'd go to like white kids' house and they would be playing similar music, I'd be like, oh, so we're not that different, are we? we're not different then, are we? And then I would just assume everybody was Indian for some reason. I thought everybody was Indian.
Right.
Because my parents had like a different kind of a Britishy kind of accent.
Yeah.
So then I'd meet parents, I'm like, hey, your parents from India? Like, what? No, they're from Scotland. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Did you ever feel like you had to change yourself to fit in though, especially when you were younger?
No, I wouldn't do that. I was never much of a conformist. I was always like, nah. And I went to Catholic school, so even when we'd have to go to church things, I'd be like, something's wrong with this place.
Yeah.
I don't believe this story at all.
I felt that too. I was raised Catholic too, and it just never sat right with me. So me and my sister would make jokes like, while mom wasn't looking, we would have our little own secret code while we were sitting there like waiting for time to pass by, but.
It's so weird. It's so normal, like just having kimchi or Spam and thinking like it's fire, like everyone probably thinks it's good too. And realizing a lot of people don't eat Spam or like mess with kimchi.
I would get Spam sandwiches when I was a kid, and it was like gross because they wouldn't heat it up or nothing. Just like cut it straight out the can and put it on the bread.
Yeah.
And you'd get this, there wouldn't even be butter on them. I was like, what is this?
I don't do a lot of white people, black people. I don't think they mess with Spam.
It's
very particular, right? Like
It's a very Hawaiian thing, I think.
It is,
Hawaiian.
But for me, it just reminds me of not having a lot. So I really don't like it unless it's in hot pot.
It's not white and black, it's poor or rich.
Yeah, and we would get the corned beef sandwich sliced
That
right
was
out the can.
special.
Yeah.
No, but even then, my dad, for some reason, would put English mustard on it, which was spicy, and I hated the taste of that mustard.
I mean, with Indian food in particular, like, it wasn't lit back then too, right? It's something that had to work up to its popularity.
Yeah, we heard you had a lunchbox story.
Oh yeah, so you ever seen those tiffin? In India, they got these guys, tiffin guys, and they deliver. There's a documentary on them. They deliver like over 100,000 meals or 200,000 meals a week, and on their bicycle, and they're these stackable metal things.
Yeah.
It's like 4 levels, and it all snaps together. And my mom figured, I think she bought it when she was in India, and then put my lunch in it, and I was embarrassed because I wanted a lunchbox.
Yeah.
I just wanted a lunchbox like everybody else with a thermos,
Right.
and that's it.
I had the brown paper bag.
I wish to have the brown paper bag.
Right.
But I remember this girl, it was like my first year at a new school, and she was like, that is so ghetto.
Where'd you grow up?
And I was like, do you know what that even means? Ghetto is a place, not a people.
Yeah, the Sacramento vibes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I grew up in Sacramento, but it was like 1 year from the next. I went to a new school once, and it was in a really strange part of town that just happened to have a combination of kids from all sorts of different neighborhoods. But
I had a similar lunchbox like that. Like, it's like a Korean thing where they got these layers and then they put a pink sash around it.
Oh, you gotta have
So
the
I got
pink
this
sash.
pink sash.
Yeah,
Pink
like
sash.
I'm gonna put it on my head and deliver it to the next town over. Like it was just the whole thing, but it was like, thinking back, it was pretty lit lunch. You know what I'm saying?
That's nice.
Like,
There's a lot of thought that goes into
because
that.
Koreans have mad plates and side dishes.
Yeah, you guys got a lot of little things. to eat with.
It's a lot of
It's
dishes.
like, here's your main, which is only this big, but then you got like 7 little things that are gonna fill you up too.
I would hate to be a Korean dishwasher, like at a restaurant. That's a lot of dishes.
Oh, yes.
That's
Well, just a lot of holes. A lot of nooks to get into.
A lot of holes.
Yeah, I remember one time though, my mom made cow tongue the night before, which was kind of delicious actually.
Yeah.
But she made me a tongue sandwich. Like she cut the cow tongue and made it into a sandwich.
Yeah,
And
let
then
me
I-
Americanize
At
it
least
slightly.
you can't see what it doesn't look like a tongue once it's prepared.
It kind of does.
Really?
It kind of does.
Okay, I've
It's a
never
tongue
had
just
it.
It's a
hanging
big
out.
ass tongue too. So.
Oh.
Anyway, I was getting kicked out of class for disrupting it somehow.
Yeah.
And I was embarrassed because the teacher was yelling at me. I think it was like 6th grade. And I was embarrassed because she was like, go to the office right now. And I felt so embarrassed that she was doing this to me. And when I was walking out, I had the tongue sandwich in my hand. I just whipped it at her head.
Oh, man.
So I slipped the teacher some tongue. Come on, guys.
All right.
All right, people are watching us live right now. We have our fans in chat, so we're gonna check out what they're saying. I don't know, somebody said liver is good. Okay.
Okay, good.
Never been a big fan of liver.
I like
to
the
be
way
honest.
liver smells. It's very deceptive, liver.
Durian is good. Somebody's been watching a lot of old Bourdain episodes.
Okay?
All right, let's
Oh,
look
good.
at
What else have you guys been watching? Welcome to the public review show.
Yes, exactly. All right, we got a Twitch comment too. Let's see what's up with Twitch. Christina Ashton, spam is great. WTF, I'll fight anyone who says otherwise. This comes up all the time in my live streams too, though. People are like
Does
very
everybody here
defensive.
mess with spam here? I don't know.
Yeah, I'll take a little fried spam and white
Yeah.
rice, you know?
Hot
White
pot.
rice, spam, and egg, perfect combo.
I
with
need
a
the
little
spice
kimchi.
to cut out the grease.
Same with the corned beef, though. The Jamaicans have this way of frying it up with onions and everything. They call it bully beef.
Oh,
Yeah.
bully beef.
Bully beef. You have to be really poor to know what bully beef
Yeah.
is. So when I go to Jamaica, they're like, what do you want to eat? I go, yeah, bully beef and white rice. They go, oh, you know about bully
You
beef?
know.
And I'm like, I just know.
All right, we want to hear from you, so hit us up in the chat.
Hit us up right now, guys. We definitely want to hear what weird foods you guys grew up on.
Oh yes, coming up, it's your chance to tell us why you don't fit in, so stay right there.
Yay.
But I was on fire with my namastes everywhere. And we were on tour, and my fake northern half of India is namaste, 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 namaste. And then we went to Chennai, Madras. And I'd never been to the South before. And we get off the plane, and as we get off the plane, the girl puts her hands together, and I cut her off. I go, namaste. And she goes, vanagam. What happened? What's that?
Yes.
Welcome back to Gray Area. We're here with Russel Peters talking about those times when you feel like you don't fit in.
Yes.
We are.
We are. Even
I
still
felt like
today.
I needed to add that. Yes, we are, guys. That's, yes, we don't fit in. And go.
And go. No, Deported was hilarious though, man. I actually wanted to know personally, like, because I never really talked to you about these sorts of things, but seeing a live show like that and then actually filming it and taping it, how do things change? Between like practicing it and rehearsing it so many times and then the actual filmed version.
Well, I did two. I did the night before, and then I did that night. And then,
okay.
So you have options. And
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
you can cut them together, but I usually end up just using one of them.
Okay.
Right.
Because I don't like piecing them together like
And
that.
a lot of crowd work, right? To feel out the crowd. Yeah.
Yeah,
Before.
I love doing crowd work.
Yeah.
That's like, that to me is the fun part. It's like, I know we're recording, but let's see what else we can do.
Yeah.
You know.
I love when you call the people out that are late.
Oh yeah,
When
late.
they're like, that's one of my favorite. I'm like, yes, I'm here for this.
And then there was the guy wearing all white. I don't know if you saw that guy.
I don't remember.
He was right at the, you didn't watch it.
I watched it when it came out. Short-term memory problems.
He was wearing all white, and I said that he looked like a sperm, because he really did.
Was his head shiny too?
It was, yeah, I think he was bald, but it was like full white outfit. I'm like who told you that was a good idea?
Why would you do that? All right, so we want to know what you think. So here's our first poll question. What makes you most feel like you don't fit in? Your age, gender, sexuality, race, or interests?
Click on the link to vote or type your answer in the chat. I don't know about you guys, but it was race early on when I was growing up, being an Asian, Korean kid amongst like a group of kids who weren't. But as I get older, the age thing has played a huge factor. There's a lot of references I'm not getting.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
I know. I mean, you're clearly old. No,
You son of a Korean.
no, it's just, I mean, I think it's because as a hip hop head, you're in a very youthful genre, you know?
I think I was in a youthful genre. I mean, here's the thing, like I'm a hip hop guy.
Right.
So to me, it's about hip hop. It's about the culture. It's about the four
True.
elements, and that's gone.
Right.
So what they call hip hop now to me, that's not hip hop. That is rap music.
Yeah, but do you feel old because of that? You're so...
No, I feel old because I'm a purist.
Yeah.
So when it comes to anything, I always go back to the essence.
Right.
So whether it's DJing or
I understand that.
or
And it feels like a
hip-hop,
totally different thing, right?
Yeah.
Like from...
I'm just like, nah, it's gotta be real. If it ain't real, I don't want to know about it.
Right. And I'm curious though, how do you enjoy it still? Where do you just take it as two different things and realize, like,
No.
or do you hate on it?
I hate on it. I hate on it. I readily hate on it too. It's
Okay.
like,
Proud.
and like when I hear those little 72 BPM songs come on, the boom, cha, and I see girls going ooh, and I go ooh, what? What did you ooh to? There's nothing to ooh there.
I
and they're
call
like
it-
ooh, and I'm like, there's no ooh. There's
No.
nothing that makes me go ooh. It's like it's the same beat as every other song. It's the same. For me,
it's like strip club music. I
No.
feel like if I hear that, I just want to be in the strip club. It's fine in that setting, but that's it. It doesn't hit any other way.
Yeah, no, see, for me, I'm 50 years old, so for me, strip clubs were like, you know, the 3 songs, and it was usually like a slow rock song was the last
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Because that's what it was back in the
Metallica.
late 80s, early 90s. It was like, they'd usually come out to the Scorpions or something. And when my love tonight. And she would do the slow romantic spin on the pole.
Watch me.
And there was no twerking. It was just like,
right.
it was
Look
like
into
just
my
like
eyes.
some trailer trash girl that wanted to do it. I'm like, that's fine.
I mean, I gotta ask you, because, you know, coming from an Indian background, like, it feels like you have to be extra rebellious, because a lot of things feel like it's planned for your, like, your future is planned in it.
Not
like,
my family.
It wasn't like that?
No.
I mean, what was it like getting into comedy with your family?
Well, see, my family's working class, so
Right.
it's unlike the Indian families, most of the Indian families in America, where they're all, not all, but good high percentage of them are like, you know, professionals. They got careers, lawyers, doctors, you know,
Yeah.
scientists, professors. You know, my dad worked in a chicken plant. My
Yeah.
mom worked in Kmart. It was
Right.
like, and I was a crappy student, so.
Comedy
I
was like a great choice.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, they
Why
didn't,
not?
they didn't even know what it was. I was like, I'm gonna go do comedy. They go, that's fine. Be back before midnight.
Right. I feel you on that, because my parents were immigrant parents working all the time. It's like
Yeah.
I brought home something to get signed, and they were like, just sign it yourself. You know, they
Yeah.
weren't gonna try to read through the fine print.
yeah.
Like, what am I signing
Or they
here?
sign it in Korean just to mess with you.
yeah, exactly. It's like it was just like, I think people think like, oh yeah, they're gonna be so strict, but when you're busy immigrant parents, you're not really. You don't.
They
have
don't
time
care.
To focus
They didn't
on.
care.
Yeah.
My parents were just like, just make some money. I don't care how the hell you make it.
Yeah, and my mom is still telling me, you can still go do this.
Yeah, same.
Huh?
My mom will try that to me. She'll be like, see, Hannah, had you done that in school? I'm like, yeah, if I'd done that in school, I wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
I'd be making minimum wage somewhere else, you know?
I mean, talking specifically about like fitting in, there's elements of fitting in with your parents, and you know, even you coming out super strong with being an empowered woman. Like, is that something that clashed with your family or your mom?
Definitely with my mom. My mom took it, when I told her I got into the adult industry, she took it harder than anyone else in my family.
I think you should change those words.
The
Not harder than anyone
That took me a minute to
she
actually
took
get
it hard. But she did. No, she did. But my dad sort of raised me with the mentality like he would with a boy. So for him, it was more so like, as long as you're not on drugs and as long as you're the one that's in charge, that's fine. And then when I quit, he was like, oh, you got that out of your system. Okay. Like, but
You had a really short, powerful career, though.
it was short, yeah. I didn't intend for it to be that way, but things just moved on and I
I
went on to
mean,
the
the next thing I knew, you were an Entourage.
Yeah. Were your parents super proud? You got like an AVN award?
You know what? No, but I will tell you, when I was in Playboy, my mom was proud. And I was like, how is that acceptable?
Yeah.
But especially because you have to understand,
It's the stuff they know.
it's the stuff they
That's the
know,
thing.
but like the way I look, and again, it goes back to that feeling of like, I never felt feminine, you know? And being in something like that, where historically it was about like the blonde, the fake silicone, like for me to be on that was a pretty big deal.
Right.
Anyways,
Me too.
hey, they like sold, you're next. Who was on it? Bad Bunny, you're next.
I'm good. Brown Bunny's next.
Bunny.
All right, I know you guys have a lot to say on this topic, so let's get someone else in on the conversation. What's up, Sarah?
Okay, we got. Oh, there she
guys.
is.
Hey, there's a real person.
How you
Yes.
feeling,
You.
Sarah? You got a question for us?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Good.
She
Yeah.
froze. What?
That's part of those rolling blackouts. We miss you, Sarah.
Okay. Sorry, Sarah. Maybe we'll get you back.
We miss you like my pee stream misses the toilet. Too much? Was that right across the line? Is that no?
We're here.
Is there? Okay, so is there? I mean, I feel like you get more comfortable as we get older, right? I mean, you seem so confident. What are times where you feel uncomfortable and you don't fit in somewhere?
I mean, if it's around a bunch of younger people, I generally
You do?
feel like the old guy.
Yeah.
Because I start to realize how crotchety I am now. You know, I'm like, shut up with your nonsense. You don't know anything. And you just feel like a crusty old man.
Yeah.
And even if you're not, you just genuinely, your back gets up for some reason.
For sure.
I
Yeah,
felt
like-
that way when I was like 10.
Yeah, same.
All right, so we have an email question. I don't have the name, so I'm sorry, person who sent this. I'm bisexual, but a few women I've gone on dates with have made me feel like I'm not a quote unquote real gay. Sasha, have you ever dealt with this and how do you cope? Yes, I have dealt with this.
It's not a real gay.
You're not a, what is it even? I get it, I get the sentiment. I think a lot of people fail to even recognize that I am a very fluid person. And so that does come up in conversations. It comes up in conversations with my friends. And especially now that the world is changing, I actually feel way more confident to just be like, you do realize the person you're, you know, in an instance, if somebody's talking crap about someone else, like you do realize you're affecting me now too. I think prejudices exist within different communities all of the time,
Yeah.
even in minority communities. I know that's one reason why I myself didn't even really agree with the term feminism for so long, because the feminism that I saw didn't reflect how I felt about female empowerment.
Is it the idea of like people want you to pick a side? Is that what that is?
Yeah, but then even when you pick a side, your side will make you pick a sub-side.
Exactly.
You know?
Right.
There's
Right.
always
Exactly.
the sub-genres and everything. It's like, okay, put you in a room full of Asians. I'm Asian. There's a bunch of other Asians, and now you're
Right.
gonna look for the other Korean. Now you've broken off into a sub-genre. Then when you get to another Korean, they're like, I'm North Korean, I'm South Korean.
Yeah,
Break
yeah,
off
yeah,
again.
yeah. You're not a
It's just
real
gonna keep
Korean.
breaking down until you end up with your family.
We were talking about, yeah, seriously.
Basically.
We were
At
talking
least there
about
is
this
somebody
too, though.
there for you always
Yeah.
in the end.
Yeah, like we were actually talking about this behind the scenes. Like, do you feel Asian?
I mean, when I'm in England, they call Indian people Asians.
Right.
So,
Here,
I mean,
not so
when you
much.
say, if you say an Asian in England, they don't think you, they think me.
Yeah.
And, you know, and over here, I say I'm Asian, they go, no, you're not. I'm like, actually, dummy. I'm
Exactly.
part of a subcontinent in Asia, so.
Exactly. All right, so we asked you what makes you most feel like you don't fit in? Age, gender, sexuality, race, or interest. And here's what you had to say. Age, 13%, gender, 2%, sexuality, 8%, race, 26%, and interest, 51%.
I wonder if this is like a current generation thing, you know? Because I feel like race, feeling out of place in race is like, that was like an older thing, right? Like I feel.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's if you're feeling out of place in race, then that's your own issue, actually.
Right.
That's not somebody else's problem. Like,
Right.
we're all three people hanging out, three completely different backgrounds, and
Yeah.
none of us feel like, oh my God, is the white girl happy? Is the Asian guy okay? Is the
Right.
Indian
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
happy? Like, none of us are thinking that. We're just like, oh, well, here we are.
Yeah.
But I think interests, that makes sense because,
Yeah.
you know, there's so many different interests nowadays. You can be like, you know, you smoke cigars? No? Okay, take care.
Yeah,
You know?
right.
yeah.
No, but when I was a kid, that was definitely a big one for me. Like, I felt like if I ever talked about different music or different movies with friends, they'd be like, what are you even talking about? That's why I joke, like, I felt like that age when I was 10 sometimes because I was dreaming in another world.
But that's why that kind of answer surprises me. It's like we have bronies and juggalos, and you can't find your crew. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's somebody out there for everybody.
Yeah.
Well,
There's
that's
a-
why if you're a juggler,
Juggalos.
your interests are probably going to be different than most of the people you meet.
True. Okay, when we come back, Russell battles the clock in one of our favorite games here on Gray Area. Stay tuned, y'all.
Juggalos. Welcome back to Gray Area. Tonight, we've been talking about feeling like an outsider with my friend, the hilarious Russel Peters.
That's me.
Okay, Russell, it's time to put you in the hot seat for some 20 and 60. Dumb is gonna fire off 20 questions, and we're
Okay.
gonna see how many you can answer in a minute.
Okay, go.
All right, here we go. Start the timer. Favorite place for comedy?
The stage.
Worst place for comedy?
Funeral.
Most, okay, I don't know if you answered that right, but most annoying fan request?
Say an old joke for them.
Oh,
Ah.
definitely. What was your DJ name?
It was Danger Russ at one point.
Danger!
That's
Danger!
actually pretty good for an early nickname, but best thing about Canada?
It's Canada.
Something,
healthcare.
Something you'll never admit to your daughter?
That her mom and I fought a lot.
420 or
we're live.
401k?
401k.
Total your car or bomb on an arena stage?
Total my car.
What's
We
your
were trying to guess what you would say to that one.
What's your nerdiest quality?
I watch a lot of astrophysics stuff on YouTube.
Wow. That's nerdy. Indian food or Canadian food?
Indian food.
Most legendary person you've been in a room with?
Prince.
That is
Spent New Year's with
legendary.
Oh.
Where are you most famous?
At home.
I don't know why I said famous.
Aw.
Okay, that's 12 questions down.
Wholesome.
That's because
we-
you stuttered.
I had one stutter, dude. Wait, you said at home, so
Yeah.
your family gasses you up a lot? Like,
No, but I feel more famous at home.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because my
wholesome.
mom would call her friends. He's
Oh,
here if you want to take a picture.
Oh, I
I'm
thought
like,
you
No,
"Ma,
meant,
don't
she
do
wouldn't.
that. I'm like, Ma, don't do that.
oh, I thought you meant like your kids and your wife or something like that.
No, hell no. No.
Oh, man. All right. So, dating. We're going to get into the topic of dating and what it's like being in a relationship and the importance of being with somebody that makes you feel like you, right?
Okay.
So, have you ever felt like in the past that you tried to change yourself for the sake of a relationship?
I've done that in every relationship. This is why I have failed relationships. I am batting 1,000 in failed relationships.
So you're saying you should not do that?
I should not do that. You know what it is? They get enamored with you at first with how you're presented. Then when they know, you know, it's like if I'm a big Sasha Grey fan. Now you're dating her, now she's just Sasha. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? And that's when you're learning who the real person is. You're like, oh.
Exactly.
Okay, so no.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Same with me, and then they get mad because I am who I am. So if you're with me, I do make a lot of jokes.
Right.
Probably at the wrong time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's just the way my brain works.
I've done that where, you know, I'm so infatuated by the girl, I see myself changing to kind of fit in that puzzle piece and make us a great relationship.
I'm with you,
Right.
kid.
Next thing you know, I'm wearing trousers like I'm going to the Hamptons and stuff. And
Yeah. Dude, there's pictures on my Instagram, I think. Me wearing clothes that I'm just to make her happy. And
using
I
a
was like,
Jamaican accent. Like.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, you want to take a picture?
The clothes thing is a weird one. I've been in relationships where people tried to like change even my own style.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, but what attracted you to me in the first place? And for me, that's like actually a big red flag, especially to young people because you're so impressionable. Like having somebody tell you, well, maybe you should do this, or you look, I couldn't even say it right now because of how terrible some of the comments that I got were. But I think through all of these things, it is about a learning experience. You have to fail and get back up on your feet again.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are young enough to still get past this. I'm at an age where I should have known better.
It's never easy.
I have learned, though, that I will stop leading with my male parts and start using my head instead.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So we have our caller back. Sarah is going to join us again.
Oh my
What's
God!
up, Sarah?
Thank God we found her.
Yay!
Sarah, you went missing.
guys.
We were sending out an APB.
We were worried, Stick Sarah. What's your question for us? We've been dying to hear it.
So I kind of had a situation this morning where I was in a meeting, and it was mostly male-dominated, and I was with my project manager, who was a male, and then my partner, who's a female, and the person, our client who was there, was looking and speaking to only my project manager, not like me and my partner who actually run the company. So how can I feel more heard in a male-dominated and primarily male-present conversation?
It was cutting in and out, but
Cutting in and out, but was the question basically how can you feel more confident in a male-dominated field?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is the field? Can we know, or is it a secret?
Well, for this particular project, it was for set design and designing in general. So
Okay.
it was just that our client was staring at my project manager and speaking directly to him the whole time,
Oh, wow.
rather than my partner and I, who are actually executing the project.
Yeah, I completely understand that feeling because I've been in situations like that myself where you get so angry, I just want to say like, hello, it's me. And then you always have this feeling in the back of your mind like, well, I don't want to be considered rude or difficult to work with. And then that actually ends up holding us back even more. But for me, I would say the most important thing is practice the way you speak. Even if it's practicing with other friends, don't say, I just wanted to say one thing, or I'll try to do this. Change your words, and that will actually give you a little bit more confidence. And it's an exercise, man. I'm telling you, like, it doesn't come easy. It's so ingrained in us as women to be polite and easy to work with. But if you start to change the way you speak, I think that will just kind of boost your self-confidence a little bit more. And then, of course, I always say, like, I had a friend that was recently in a similar situation. And I was like, oh, don't you have an HR department? Go to, eventually, if you have to take that step.
well, as an ally, I'm just going to stay silent during this question.
But I also feel like that too sometimes, and I don't know. I mean, it happens when I go for network meetings or something, and it's very equivalent to what you go through. With you're looking around and there's not as much female representation. I'm not worried if it's male or female. My main problem is, are this room full of assorted white people going to really understand my point of view? And that's a very similar thing to what you're doing. It's, you're like, is this guy going to take me seriously because I'm a woman? And mine is, are these white folks really going to get what I'm trying to tell them?
Right.
So I think it's about communicating your point properly. You got to bring them to you as opposed to bring you to them. So you lead them in with how you want to be perceived or how you want to be spoken to, and you grab them by the throat with that and pull them in.
Yes.
We're gonna talk this way.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly. I hope that helps.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for
Thank
your
you, Sarah.
call.
Appreciate
Thanks.
it.
If I need a set, I'll give you a shout.
All right, let's bring someone new into this relationship. Hi,
I don't
Jack.
trust this guy at all.
Wait, why don't you trust this guy,
I don't
Russell?
know. Something's going on here.
What's up, Jack? How are you, man?
That mirror.
Hey, what's going on?
What's your question for us?
So my question is, I have two groups of friends. So I have my online friends and my real life friends. And I feel like on Discord, I can kind of like be myself, but in real life, I'm much more of a closet gamer, and I can't really show them who I am. So how do I like bridge that gap and be more open with my real life friends?
Are you not gay in front of your friends?
No, he's talking about gamer.
Oh, sorry.
Gamer.
I thought he said I'm a gay man. I'm a closet gay man. That's
Gamer.
It's the Wi-Fi connection.
We
I'm
need
like-
better audio.
in my head. I'm like, why do you got to be closet anymore? It's 2020.
2020.
Just be as gay as you want to be, bro.
Well, the gamer, I mean, to be honest, for me, I feel like you can't have two different sets of friends. Like, it's okay not to bridge two groups of friends together.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to, like, I hate ageism. I've dealt with it in the past, but you look a little young to me, and I'm telling you, as you get older, you will compartmentalize your friends, and that's okay. And you're not always gonna have friends that like, you know, the same thing that your other group of friends do. It's completely normal, but like, yeah, if it's your best friend or whatever, you wanna be able to share those experiences with them.
And especially you're talking about the online world compared to the real life world. We all do that. We have two separate kind of worlds with the online and the real life. It doesn't have to really connect either.
They're right here.
Yeah.
Also, you know, my daughter, I watch her because she's only 9.5 years old. Don't get it twisted. But I watch her because she plays Roblox and she talks to her friends online, and I see how animated she is with them online. And then when her friends come over in person, she's a little bit more subdued. And I think it's just the people can't see you, so it's a lot easier to be more free. You're less self-conscious about facial expressions and maybe the way you're sitting or your body language. Maybe you want to fart, you know, incessantly the whole time. You can do that online.
Yeah, we all have crazy game online on the DMs, and then we see a real
Oh
life
yeah,
girl.
I'm solid. My DM game is incredible. In person at dinner, I'm just like looking at my phone for conversations to bring up, you know.
He is not a boomer with the DM game. I hope that answers your question, Jack. Thank you, man.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
If you're feeling like an outsider, when we come back, we'll talk about how everyone can find a place where they fit in. Yee.
Yeah.
So Jack's not a gay.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back. This is still Gray Area, and we're still here with Russel Peters.
Hi, I'm Russell Peters. Welcome back to Gray Area.
Yes, now we have that forever. All right, so I'd love to talk about finding these safe spaces online or IRL. So, as we all know, the internet can be a toxic place, but
Can be.
It can be. But
Can be is an understatement.
This is the thing, though. Like, I've been able to find a community on Twitch and harness the community that I envisioned. And that's a big part, and thanks to a great team of moderators and people that help keep that bubble intact. And I think that's really important. And that's something that didn't always exist, and it still doesn't exist like on other social platforms. But as we were talking about earlier, you can find your group and find a comfort in that and be yourself and feel safe.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting for someone like you who went viral, right, from the jump. And before then, I mean, you probably didn't even, did you expect that? Like,
No.
there's probably no community at
It
the
didn't
time.
exist.
Right.
I was first, my first foray into getting famous was people emailing clips of my stuff to people. And it'd be like a 3-minute clip, and it would take you 20 minutes to download it. You remember that time?
Oh, yeah.
2004?
Yeah.
And then in 2005, YouTube started, and I'm basically the first YouTube sensation.
Right.
So I feel like every YouTuber owes me money. And I'm here to collect, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like now it is a lot easier. There is spaces and communities and message boards and all that. Message boards are already old, by the way.
I think
but-
message boards are done.
I mean, but we have Discord is sort of like the new message board. We have all our people right here hanging out and chatting.
Yeah, well, the question for you was like, how did you, what pushed you to just kind of have the courage to be like, okay, I'm gonna talk about these things that maybe no one will be able to relate to?
For me, it's about being honest. I think the more honest a comedian is, it's what makes you trust them more. Like, look at Chappelle. I mean, his Sticks and Stones special was as honest as you can get.
Right.
And he took all the chances you could take. You know, he put it all out there. And but again, some guys are afforded the luxury of being able to do that as well. Dave is a very, first of all, he's a great comic, probably one of the best ever.
Yeah.
And and he's got that freedom because people trust him now. If I was to say half that stuff, people would be all over me. You can't say that. I'm like,
Right.
you know, so it's about who they trust when they're saying it. So
For the particular community or the thing.
Definitely.
you're saying.
yeah. So
I always admired that in comedians, because I did that as a kid. Like,
Yeah.
being funny and making jokes when I was uncomfortable was like how I found myself and how I found my way out of situations.
Same.
I don't do that. I wish I could harness that
still can.
today. You got to teach me some moves, man.
No,
because
you know what to do. You censor yourself now.
That's
You're doing it to yourself.
Yeah.
my family has told me that.
And the older you get, the less you care
Yeah.
about what's going to bother a young person. Because, and you think about it, you talk to your grandparents, and if your grandparents are still alive, ask them anything about race or sex or gender, and they will give you the most off-color answer that you
Right.
and that will make you very uncomfortable, but you know it's not coming from a dark place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what people really need to harness, is that what is the intent behind the person saying this?
Right.
Is the intent they're just saying what they saw? Are they trying to hurt your feelings? No. Maybe they're just saying it and they don't realize they're hurting your
Yeah.
feelings. Maybe if your feelings are getting hurt, that has more to do with you than it does with them.
Yeah.
So these are all the things you got to, there's a lot of variables.
True.
That is true. Sorry to cut you off. We have a viewer calling in from Iran. Russell, you have to have fans in Iran.
Hey, does not look like the Iranian I was expecting.
What's up?
Hello.
What's
Hello,
up, Zephyr?
Jose.
Is that good? How are you?
How are you? What's your question for us?
So my question is, as somebody who has never stepped foot in United States and who very much would love to move to US someday, what would be the biggest shock or reality check for me that moving or living in US it's not what I imagined it would be?
Well, as an immigrant to the U.S., I can tell you this, and you're coming from Iran, if you move to Los Angeles, you'll find that you've left Iran to come back to Iran. Welcome to Tehrangeles.
Yeah.
You might want to reconsider. Your Wi-Fi seems better than Sarah's earlier, to be honest.
for
I don't know, maybe.
Well, what are your expectations of America?
So, I mean, it is the American dream that if you work hard enough and you got what it takes, the sky is the limit. So in other parts of the world, especially in my country, this is not the situation. I mean, we can't do that. But in US, you can reach your full potential, and this is what I love for myself. So,
I mean, I think that was my goal too when I came to America. And I came here from Canada. In Canada, it's very much we just want enough. I just want enough. I just want my one house, my one car. It doesn't need to be a big house, doesn't need to be the best car. And I always had the impression in my head, if I go to America, I can get the biggest house and the best cars and get 10 of them.
Yeah.
And if I don't need them, I'll wean it down from there. But I want it all.
Right.
And I think that's where your head might be at, because you're like, in Iran,
Yeah.
you just get enough. And you want more.
yeah, I mean, this is the same feeling. I mean, not necessarily just money, but I mean, maybe you want to be an artist, you want to be a scientist, something that you can do what you want and fit in. I mean, I don't just get this feeling in my country.
And I'll be honest with you, your English is better than most of the Iranians here. So maybe you should come and help your people out.
Hey, good luck with your journey, man. We wish you the best. You can crash on my couch if you ever make it out here, bro.
Definitely.
Thank you very much for
I'm talking
having
about
me.
this couch, Venn's couch, not mine. All right. When we come back, Russell solves all the problems of the universe for us. Are you cool with that? Can you?
Apparently, we're going to find out.
Okay, stick around, everyone.
Yeah. He was sweet. Welcome back. We are here with Russel Peters talking about feeling different and accepting yourself. All right, Russell, give me the secret to the universe in one sentence.
Be you. Only you can be you.
Dumb?
Be you, only you. That's great advice. Let me see. As a weirdo growing up, I gotta say, wave your freak flag.
Oh, yeah.
You
Hendrix
know what I mean?
style.
Just wave it. Embrace it, pretty much. Embrace your weirdness. That's what I'm asking.
I would have to say, don't let anybody change you. I think at the end of the day, we're pack animals. We want to find our group, and you might be a lone wolf, and that's cool too. But you know what?
Yeah, I'm going.
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
Well, she
No,
was
on
being
that
lone
note-
wolf till you talked to her.
I'm sorry. No, well, I was just gonna ask, like, just about phases, you know, because I went through a lot of weirdo phases.
But that's all part of the growing process.
Yeah. I mean, like my picture at like 14, 15, 16 is all different. Like,
Dude, there's pictures of me that I posted on my Instagram where you could see, like, wow, I don't know how you got to here, kid.
what's a weird phase you went through?
I think my teens were really awkward for me.
Okay.
Awfully, just my nose just grew, and my face was skinny.
Like puberty, like.
Oh yeah, I thought that my nose and chin were gonna grow into each other because my nose was hooking and then my chin was growing out, and I thought by the time I was 30 I would have a handle on my face, like, come here, I want to talk to you, you know.
Straight out of
handle
Beauty
on
and the
life.
Beast. Yeah.
So to defeat it, I grew a bunch of extra chins, so it couldn't do it.
Technique. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think. I mean, did you feel like? I feel like you had a goth phase or something going on.
My goth phase, I mean, I always liked every genre of music really growing up, and that was actually what set me apart from my friends. Like when that kid was asking about compartmentalizing friendships, but my goth phase didn't hit me visually until I was like out of high school.
That's a weird thing with me. I loved all music too, so it was like I was like a goth in an Adidas tracksuit. Like, you know what I mean? It was just confusing.
I mean, in the 80s, especially when I was a teenager, you had to pick a group. If you were part of this group, you weren't allowed to like anything else. So I was with the B-boys, and I was a hip-hop kid. And although I liked metal, nobody needed to know about that.
Yeah.
And my brother listened to New Wave, and I was like, I think I like that too. But I can't tell my brother I like it. I got to stay wrong and strong here.
Yeah.
That's how it was. I mean, that was
And
like
that was,
for me
you know,
too.
It's so
as you get older, you're just like, I like all of that stuff.
Yeah, and that's how the kids are now. You go to a music festival, it's every genre.
Yeah, I think that's great that happened now.
All right, so the fans want to know, do you like mayo?
Mayonnaise?
Mayonnaise.
I love mayonnaise.
Oh,
Okay. But you hate mayo.
Sorry.
Why do you
This
hate
is like
mayo?
a long-running joke with my
I
Twitch
hate
chat.
pickles.
Wow.
Oh,
I
pickles
love
are
pickles.
disgusting.
Well, there you go. There you go.
It's the devil's penis. Never mind.
All right. As
Sorry.
always,
Sorry, guys.
we're
No
live.
one has ever called it the devil's penis, by the way.
We're live every Wednesday and Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific
You were till I said that.
We have my face hurts. I knew this was gonna happen. We have an all-star lineup next weekend. DJ and singer Cray joins us, along with streamer Jericho and LA's favorite son, Chef Roy Choi.
Yep, that's
Hey,
the
Roy
homie.
Choi.
Yep, it's gonna be a fun week. In the meantime, keep hitting us up on all the platforms and make sure you follow VENN on Twitch, Twitter, and IG. Find us at watchvenn.
Thank you for watching Gray Area.
Stay safe, y'all. Thank you, Russell. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys.
Have a good weekend.
Thanks.
Peace.
Thank you. Thank you so much.